Tell me you grew up poor without telling me you grew up poor.
That moment right after you swipe your card of sheer panic that hits you, even though you know you have the money in the bank, that financial insecurity that like sticks with you, and it had you in a chokehold. Like, you shouldn't be sweating like that standing at the register. But I do. I still do every time. And I know I have money in the account, but it's like, but what if? What am I going to have to put back? Like, I don't miss it. It humbles my ass all the time.
Hello everyone, it's Emmanuel Cooke. Today we will be reacting to a new video, and I hope that you guys enjoy the video.
Having financial anxiety sucks. Just 3 years ago, there'd be like $2 in my account after rent, right? But now that I have money on, I freak out so bad. So like for the past 3 days, I spent like $200 getting lit. You know, hot girl summer. And I literally cried to my friend last night. I was like, why the fuck would I do? I'm so stupid. I could have used that $200 to do whatever. Then the other day, I blew up my tire and I had to spend $100 on a freaking tire. I literally started crying. I could not do it. And then my savings will never be touched unless it's for like my apartment or something. I have not touched that shit in like years. Yeah.
A lot of people think the first step in getting their life right financially is making a budget, and it's not. It's actually dealing with your financial trauma. In my money emails today, I sent out a message to all my subscribers, basically asking them if they've experienced any type of financial trauma before, and the response was overwhelming. A lot of people don't realize that their childhood is really why they look at money or view money the way that they do. But before I dive deep into that, I want to read off the definition of financial trauma just to make sure we're all on the same page. Financial trauma refers to the mental distress and emotional impact caused by experiencing or witnessing significant financial losses, instability, or hardship. It can result from various events such as bankruptcy, foreclosure, job loss, investment loss, or unexpected expense. I really want to end on some of the effects of financial trauma. It can also cause long-term financial repercussions such as damaged credit scores, difficulty obtaining loans, credit difficulties, rebuilding savings, and retirement funds. It can also lead to anxiety, depression, sleep disturbances, and other stress-related symptoms. With everything that I just read, it makes sense why so many people in the hood or in underprivileged areas are suffering like they are. They're dealing with financial trauma.
I suffer from money anxiety and financial trauma. I spent years avoiding bills. If they would come in the mail, I would put them in the drawer and forget about them until 1, I had the money to pay for it, or 2, I was ready to tackle it and in a good mental space to do so. Same goes for online bills. I would go months, if not even years, without checking my bank account, and I don't mean in the Emma Chamberlain way. And I'm 42 years old and I cannot live this way the rest of my life. Something has got to give. And that is one of the reasons why I'm doing the weekly bank account audits. It's basically a video that I make every single week on my page where I'm talking about every single penny that I've spent, and I'm opening up my bank account, I'm looking at my bank account, and I'm going through every individual item of any bills that I paid or any money, shopping, groceries, whatever I've spent throughout the week, and journaling it down in my budget. And I've been doing this for maybe a month now, somewhere around there. And I have to say, I am getting less anxious when I open up my bank account. It's also nice to see every little penny that I've spent. And it's also made me more mindful of every penny that I am spending and how I'm spending it. And throughout the week when I want to go and buy something, I'm asking myself, do I need this? Is this something that is essential to my everyday life? I think I have a lot of financial trauma and money anxiety just because I grew up in a household where we never talked about finances. We didn't talk about money, we didn't talk about finances, we didn't talk about sex, we didn't talk about boys, we didn't talk about anything. I grew up with boomer parents. I went straight from my parents' house to my husband's house where I was a stay-at-home mom, and so I didn't really earn any money. I did have a job when I was a teenager, and I earned every penny of that, and I did pay some bills, but I spent and blew it just like every other teenager, and I really lived paycheck to paycheck, much as I am doing now in my 40s.
Do you guys also wake up and have financial anxiety? Like, first thing you think of in the morning is your finances? Or am I the only one? I'm basically starting a business, and the product that I sell sells for $0. Like, I'm investing thousands and thousands, and I am doing it in the cheapest way I can because I don't have said money. So many of my friends are working for free for me. So many people are helping. So many people are giving me cheaper prices so that I can get through and get by. And it's still costing me all of my money. My credit card is maxed. I am running out of money. And I will put the music out there, and I will pay for marketing, and I will get $0 back. I will get 0.05 cents on every stream or something. It is insane, like, how artists have to be entrepreneurs and content creators now. How soul sucking is that? And it doesn't make any sense because I also have the privilege and the luck to get some acting jobs in the year sometimes that pay for my music and also pay for my life, because I work a 9 to 5, 3 days a week that I can't live off of, and I need those contracts. So I don't understand how a regular person who doesn't get those well-paid contracts that help out do it. And right now, I'm not getting said contracts. I'm still working 3 days. I'm not getting contracts. And so I'm not making a livable wage. So I'm living off those savings. And they're running out. And I am freaking out. Every single day I wake up and that's the first thing I think about. And I think about it all day, every day, and I do not know, like, I feel stuck. It's just a little discouraging. So today I'm going to try and get control over that. I'm going to go through my bank statements and try to see what I can cancel, and trying to see if I can apply for weekend jobs or other jobs. But yeah, if you're an artist, like, let me know how you do it. Like, are you okay? Literally, are you okay? Are you getting grants? Like, what grants are you applying to? Help me out in the comments. If you got a job for me, I can sing, I can model, I can act, I can do shipping, I can do marketing, I can do customer service, I can do a lot. So, love you guys. And thank you for being here and hearing me sing. It actually means the fucking world to me that you're here. But it's time for taxes. Let's hope we don't get...
Your complicated relationship with money is not going to get better as you make more money. If anything, the more money you make, the more that relationship is going to be amplified to the point that you're eventually going to have to deal with it. And this is something that not enough people talk about. Like, we talk about, oh, money doesn't buy happiness, or it does. I personally believe that money buys safety and security, which leads to happiness. And when you do not have that safety, physical, right, safety and security, then it's very hard to be happy. And money grants people that privilege to be able to, like, relax and enjoy their life and, like, spend money on things that they want to do, and ultimately, like, regulate their body, get out of fight or flight. But what we don't talk enough about is how your relationship with money will continue to be complicated. And this is why I believe that we see so many people in our society hoard so much wealth, because they grew up with, like, a scarcity mindset, or they grew up with, you know, whatever it is, whatever money wounding. And so they feel the need to, like, hold on to as much wealth as possible, or they feel the need to, like, spend it all and, like, flaunt it, and then end up back at square one, even though, like, they've made a ton of money in their lifetime. These are just two sides of the same coin, the two sides of the same pendulum, you know? So this is something that I really want y'all to understand, because if you have a complicated relationship with money, it is worth your while, and it is worth your money to get help with it. And I'm not just talking about, like, learning how to budget or whatever. I'm talking about, like, really talking through the generational wounds and the generational cycles that are contributing to the way that you deal with money now.
Anxiety over money. I am not stingy, I'm not frugal, I'm not cheap, but I don't think many people talk about, like, the process of after graduating school, you start a new job and suddenly there's a billion payments you gotta make. There's so many loans. I constantly get emails about paying back parts of my loans, my interest. And then I have my credit card that I'm like paying off at like, like the end of the month kind of a bill stuff. That's not new. I feel like that's something that I've been doing since I was like 16 anyway. So that's not new. But like the loan stuff, it actually becomes so overwhelming. And as I like look into and prepare to move out in a few months, like I feel like I have to be more strategic and just think a little more thoroughly about like how I'm spending my money. First of all, I don't even spend that much money on myself. So I sometimes feel like it's a little unfair to the world that like the interest rate is so high for my loan. I took out so much for nursing school because I also had to like pay for my living expenses, and then thank God it was accelerated. And I feel like interest just constantly compounds. And honestly, I like look at the site and I don't even know how interest is building at such random numbers. Like I know the percent, I think it's like 7.70%, but I'm like, I just want to pay it off. And then I pulled like a lot of money from my savings to like pay off the first like big portion of my loan when I first graduated, like before I got my job. Once I got my job, I've been making more regular payments, but I realized I do not save as much as I would like. And also I think because I'm making more money, I try my best to like give back to my community. So the people who like bought me coffee, bought me food, like provided me with stuff when I was working, I wasn't making like a stable income. And when I just like needed help, like a friend in need, I like give back to them because now I feel like I'm able to, and it's more than an honor for me to be able to. I don't mind that. But also I find myself like seeking connection, like social community connection opportunities. So I go out and like buy food and coffee a lot more often. And it's not like I go to like a 5-star Michelin like restaurant, but it still adds up, especially being in the Bay Area. And then I just feel like this whole like paying off my loans, getting ready and budgeting for like moving out, it like brings me a lot of anxiety, and I don't know who I can talk to or like how to talk to other people about it, because I feel like people kind of look down, or it's like stigmatized for some reason for me to be talking about it and feeling this way. But I'm going to make a part 2 because my 3 minutes is over.
Financial anxiety is one of the hardest parts about being self-employed, especially if you don't have a family, parents, or partner to support you. This is something I constantly struggle with, but here are some things that I've done to kind of combat that. The first is having an emergency fund. This is good no matter what your job is, but for me personally, knowing that if somehow I lost all of my clients, I would still be okay for the next 3 to 6 months provides a lot of security and comfort that I wouldn't necessarily have otherwise. The second thing has honestly just taken time in knowing that I will always have new opportunities and new clients, which I don't think you learn until you've been in business long enough to build up a reputation and referrals, where new business is constantly coming in and you're able to figure out your marketing and how your sales cycles work. And the last is surrounding myself with other business owners, other people who are self-employed, which also reinforces that you're not alone, in your struggles, in your mindset, in this concern, but also that there are so many opportunities out there.
I don't know anybody right now who isn't struggling financially. And I'm talking people who are employed, dual income households, people who make decent money, people who are not living outside of their means. Everyday people are struggling. People have maxed out credit cards, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in debt. Same here. I know many of you can relate to this one. I've been unemployed for 4 months. I've been job searching every single day, relentlessly applying for hundreds of jobs at this point. And while I'm job searching, I'm also looking at contract and freelance work, and I'm also starting a side hustle. I'm opening an Etsy shop right now, and I'm just doing some little side hustles to make extra income, because at this point, everything counts. I'm just wondering, like, when is enough, because people every single day are struggling. They can't eat because they can't buy food. They can't fill their car. They can't go to work. Like, what do we do? Like, I don't know. Every single person at this point needs a side hustle, needs an extra job, working multiple jobs. Like, this is just wild. So I don't have a solution, just my little rant, and I know you guys can probably relate.
If you are first in your family to navigate your finances, well, I'm Leah Landaverde, the Latino Wealth Activist, and today I'm going to tell you about financial anxiety. Most of the time, people are afraid of money because we have money scripts that have been told to us generation to generation that dinero es malo, we can't trust the bank accounts, we can't trust people who deal with money, or la gente con dinero son mala, or son envidiosa, or we completely judge people with money. So untrustworthy with money that it builds up financial anxiety over time. So that's probably why you don't check your bank account. As your dinero bestie, I'm going to challenge you to do something today. I want you to ask yourself, what did your parents do with money? Like, what messages did they tell you? And how has that affected the way that you manage your finances or you react to money? Finding that root of the problem and telling yourself, you know what? I can change this story and I can actually see money in a different light can open your door of possibilities with money. It's going from a scarcity mentality to abundance mentality. Because money is good. Money in good hands can change the world. Imagine more Latinas and Black folk with dinero. Imagine us conquering and taking back our financial power without fear, without shame, without judgment. So the next time you judge someone for succeeding or taking that step forward to invest in themselves, take a look in the mirror. Let me know in the comments how you feel about money.
My entire For You page is just inundated with TikToks about the mass layoffs that are coming. This creator was sharing that she interviewed a CEO who was saying that all these industries should expect major budget cuts, that 2024 is going to be like the year where things are going to tank and it's going to be really challenging for a lot of people in the corporate workforce. She goes on to say things like having like secondary income and like, whether it's like content creation or, a side hustle or anything like that is like the best way to secure yourself financially because, of what's potentially to come. And I am somebody, to be completely transparent with you, I have 100 followers on TikTok. I work a full-time job. Granted, I am remote and I do work from home entirely, so that truly does help. Like, there is a privilege there. I have a daughter and I have a husband. And I also have a side hustle of a little baking business. I like to bake, so I have a little baking business that I work on the side. And I'm trying to grow a following. I'm trying to build my business. I'm trying to do wonderful in my job to earn promotions and get raises and all of that. I feel like I'm doing everything I can. And the fact that I don't have like the financial means to like invest in real estate and like, get an Airbnb and like property manage and stuff like that. I feel like that's like the secondary income that like everyone's talking about, or like participating in the stock market. Like, yeah, we invest, but like, it's not like millions of dollars. Like, it's not going to like fund my retirement and like pay for my children's future. Like, people just make it sound like it's so fucking easy to just like have secondary income. Like, there are other people who truly do not have the opportunity to do that. And it blows my mind that this is now the new normal, that you can't just work a 9 to 5. And like my husband and I, we both work. So like, we're both working full time. I feel like we're already doing the max, like for what our family can handle. It consumes my thoughts. It blows my mind that now both parents need to essentially be working full time, be able to like know the stock market and like practice as if they're on Wall Street and like invest their money financially and have a side hustle or something like that and like build out this secondary income like that. There are no words. There's no words. And everyone needs to be doing this. Everyone needs to be doing this apparently in order to survive and like stay financially stable and retire. It makes me truly just feel like, what's the point? What is the point of all of this? I don't know.
Anybody else have money trauma? Like, I don't know if that's a real thing or if that's just what I call it. But like, I remember growing up, like, there was sometimes I was scared, like, our power would get cut off or like our water would be cut off or like my cell phone would be cut off till I started paying it. And every single year, I remember strategically having my birthday party the Saturday before we started school, because my birthday's August 7th. And we used to always start school like the first or second week of August. So I would have my birthday party that Saturday. I would take all the money from my birthday party and go buy my uniforms on Sunday, because I wanted name brand uniforms, because, you know, kids are cruel. So that way I would have the money to go to Hollister or Abercrombie and buy my uniforms and like my shoes. My mom and dad did sometimes buy my shoes, but I remember when I started the birthday thing, like, I would just buy my uniforms. And it really, really sucks, because living in today's economy, I never feel like there's enough money. And I don't want to give my kids that type of trauma. And it just sucks, because especially of how my parents died, knowing how much debt they were in, and like, that's one of the reasons why my dad was spiraling, is because they just didn't have enough money and they were about to lose everything that they had fucking worked for their entire lives. And it sucks. Like, it sucks. And like, I don't have a passion to go out and make it a career. Like, I am a licensed like cosmetologist, but I don't do that full time, and I'm not actively practicing, because they don't tell you the amount of times it takes to build a clientele. And I didn't have that time when I got out of hair school. Like, I moved out of my house at 19 years old. It was a do or die situation. Like, I had to just do the damn thing. So I had to get another type of job. And it just sucks. So I don't know if I'm alone in the money trauma, but I'm living it every day. And like, every day I panic that I'm not going to have enough money for something. Every single day. And I hate it.
That is it for today. I appreciate you guys watching the video, and like, comment, and subscribe down below, and see you in the next video.